This is Hannibal here from the Hannibal TV on YouTube. Over 500,000 subscribers with a daily news update. Raw for the October 27th episode. Since the numbers come in a week later, we get it about a week later. Did 2.3 million global views on Netflix. So that's all around the world. They only did 2.3 million views. Worse than that, though, is SmackDown did its lowest rating of all time. Under a million viewers, 933,000 viewers, and a 0.2 rating. 0.20. That's not a good rating at all. They can come up with all the excuses in the book, but the bottom line is that's their lowest rating ever. And that's the same event where they had the poor crowd, poor attendance. They're in a 20,000 seat building and only had around 4,000 fans. So I can see that trend continuing. But WWE executives are still saying they're going to remain, quote, bullish with these dynamic ticket prices, which is charging ridiculously high prices for a product where there is not a lot of top stars and the legitimate top stars like you have like Cena, which his finishing run has not been a good one. Like his retirement match is not sold out yet. His last match he's ever going to have is not sold out yet, and it's in a regular sized arena. Just to show you the demand for this, but again, they're losing Cena. Who's the next guy after Cena in popularity? Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, who only wrestled 5 times this year so far. I mean, how do you keep momentum on a guy when he only wrestles once every couple months? And they've been jobbing Roman Reigns recently. But for the people that say, well, they're still making a lot of money, the WWE executives did explain this in their phone call today, their Q3 phone call. Live events are doing better because there's less. So there's what they call scarcity mindset. Because they're coming to places less, people are going and paying higher ticket prices, and they're traveling more. Will that continue forever? Probably not. And can everyone afford those ticket prices? I don't think so. Because you can act like wrestling fans are all doctors and lawyers all you want. I'm sure they exist. But it's traditionally been working class people, people with developmental disabilities, low income people. And now you're pricing those people right out of it. Not only are you pricing them out of the house shows, but they have to pay to watch it on Netflix. When Peacock was real cheap to get the pay-per-views, they could afford it. Now you're going to ESPN, which is more expensive. And then you also have to get cable if you want SmackDown. So it's really being priced out for for the common man. WWE is not for the common man anymore. And you would think John Cena was always a common man type of wrestler, where the nosebleeds for his final match are like $400 or $500. That's like, what kind of common man could? My parents weren't wrestling fans, for instance. So when I was a kid, I had to pay with my allowance. I could never afford to go to wrestling if tickets were that. I understand inflation exists, but the overpriced now is ridiculous. But again, this is how they're stating they're still making money. Places are paying them to come. It's called hospitality revenue, and they're getting site fees. They have media rights deals with Netflix, ESPN, and television companies. Will those be around forever if numbers continue to drop? Who knows? They also have money from Saudi Arabia coming in, hundreds of millions of dollars from Saudi Arabia. That never existed before. And the other thing is, with the PLEs in the past, they would have to make you want to buy a pay-per-view. Now you pay a lower fee and you get all the pay-per-views, or you just watch the highlights on YouTube. In the past, you actually had to be interested in the pay-per-view to get it. So they would only make good money on the pay-per-views if they drew enough interest for people to buy them. It's not like that anymore with the streaming fees. So that's good for them, but long term, I don't know if it makes that much more fans because a lot of the pay-per-views are flat. I mean, it just came in the news today. John Cena's dad was so proud of his match with AJ Styles. I'm sure it was a good match, but did one person think that AJ Styles had a snowball's chance in hell of winning? I don't watch a match to see how well someone could choreograph a match. I knew AJ has not won a main match for what seems like forever. Like, I knew there was no chance he was going to win. So why would I care if they choreographed it well? I mean, a good match to me is something where there's a feud to it and you really want to see it. That's just my opinion. But apparently the first ESPN number wasn't great, and Nick Khan actually said they're going to be patient and they are confident about ESPN growing. I wonder if these executives, other than Triple H, actually watch their product. Apparently, AEW, which just did a 0.03 for Collision and did a 0.08 last week for Dynamite. They have reached as low as a 0.06 for Dynamite lately. But to fight their bad numbers, they're not going to bring back all the guys that are sitting at home that for some reason they don't use, that are more popular than the ones that are on TV. No, they're going to create another title. They're creating another men's title, a national title. That's exactly what AEW needs. When no one knows who the champions are now, let's make another title. And you love having tournaments. Let's have another tournament. Hello, Michael. Yes, Walt, I did beat AJ twice in one night, but the main thing about AJ is they've just used him as a guy that people can have a quote unquote good match with, but he never wins. His little run where he was uh, getting champion pushes and stuff. I don't know if that's going to happen again, but it seems like for the last few years he loses every time he's in a main match. What made him change a tire? I don't know who that is. The game Triple H. Yeah. Here's what's interesting about Triple H. Here's what I truly think is going to happen when TKO, when this does not be, they're milking the cow right now. They're milking the cow that Vince McMahon built. They're going to get as much money as possible without really building a future. And I think they're going to just sell it to someone like Saudi Arabia when business starts to get bad. I think they're just going to continue being bullish, pushing the envelope, and when it starts to get real bad, they're going to hightail it out of there. Wrestling should try another box. The thing is, and why I'm happy when I hear about these things is because they've destroyed wrestling. They've turned it into something where there's no kayfabe. Everything looks choreographed. It's tons of promos, very corporate product. It's just not the wrestling at all that I grew up with. So I'm hoping that when things start to go bad, they'll change it and it'll turn into something better. Muay Thai would be cool. I don't think we're going to see any of these guys fight for real anytime soon. Saudi would bring Vince back. Well, he's still one of the top shareholders, and a lot of people are saying he's going to be there for Cena's last match. And again, when was the last we've actually heard from Janelle Grant? I would say there's a good chance that may have been a quiet settlement because we haven't heard. The last we heard from Janelle Grant was SummerSlam when they brought Lesnar back. We haven't heard any peep from her or her lawyers since August. We're now into November. So, but I do think that if Saudi did buy it, few years down the road, they would put Vince back in charge. David, you can always watch the free stream, yes, but who actually wants to watch this crap? All of the good stuff that they put is gonna show up in a YouTube clip anyways, and then you don't have to sit through all the ads. Like on Netflix, if you're in the US, you still gotta watch the ads. It's just they want to just milk you for everything. So, I mean, to use the term, we're gonna be bullish, very bullish about our dynamic pricing. Seriously, f off. Just f off, you corporate